The first kiss that wasn't ours. It all started so naturally. Jenny and Marcus had been inseparable friends for years, but something shifted in their final year of high school. Jenny always saw Marcus as just her goofy, charming friend. The guy with the easy smile and the deep brown eyes that everyone gravitated towards. He was popular, sure, but to her, he was Marcus. But then, like a quiet spark in the dark, her feelings changed. She didn't know when it happened. Maybe it was during one of their long walks after school, or one of those late-night conversations that lasted until they both fell asleep. Or maybe it was the way Marcus started looking at her, longer, softer, in a way that made her pulse quicken. Before she could stop herself, Marcus became all she could think about. They started spending even more time together, intimate moments where it was just the two of them, the rest of the world fading into the background. Jenny convinced herself it was leading to something, that there was an unspoken promise between them. The shared secrets, the way his hand lingered on hers just a little longer, the way his eyes softened when they talked. It had to mean something. She began to picture their first kiss, imagining it under the stars, the kind of perfect moment she'd only read about. She never could have imagined how different the reality would be. It was a Friday night, and the air was cool with the lingering scent of autumn leaves. Jason's house party had been all anyone talked about that week. Jenny wasn't one for big crowds or loud music, but Marcus had convinced her to go. He promised her they could leave early if it wasn't her scene, flashing that smile that always made her feel like she was the only one in the room. Jenny dressed carefully that night, her favorite blue dress that Marcus once said matched her eyes. She felt nervous but also excited. This night felt different. It felt like the night as they walked to the party together. Her heart was racing for reasons she wasn't sure Marcus even noticed. The party was a whirlwind of noise and people. Laughter echoed off the walls. The music thrummed through the house, and the smell of pizza lingered in the air. Jenny felt a little out of place at first, but Marcus stuck close to her, making sure she was comfortable. They danced together, spinning around the living room, laughing as if they were the only two people there. For a moment, everything felt perfect. It felt like something beautiful was about to happen. Jenny's heart pounded every time Marcus looked at her. She was sure of it now. Tonight would be the night of their first kiss. She could feel it in the way he held her close, the way his smile lingered just a little too long. But then, something changed. Sometime after midnight, the crowd thickened, and Marcus drifted away to grab them drinks. At first, Jenny wasn't worried. She stayed by the window, watching the chaos of the party around her, feeling the anticipation of what was to come. But after a while, she began to wonder where he'd gone. She wandered through the crowded house, pushing through the mass of people, her eyes searching for Marcus. As she neared the back door, she finally spotted him, standing outside under the porch light, talking to someone. It was Lisa. Lisa was the kind of girl who commanded attention wherever she went, loud, confident, effortlessly pretty. She'd always made Jenny feel a bit small, like an afterthought. Lisa had never been unkind, but there was something about her presence that made Jenny feel like she didn't quite measure up. Jenny's stomach tightened as she watched them. They were standing close, closer than Jenny liked. She told herself they were just talking. It didn't mean anything. They were just friends. But then, in a moment that shattered everything, Lisa leaned in, and Marcus didn't pull away. Jenny's breath caught in her throat. She froze as Lisa kissed him, and then, worse, he kissed her back. It wasn't the kind of kiss that could be brushed off. It wasn't a quick, accidental peck. It was slow, deliberate. Everything Jenny had imagined for herself. That kiss, her kiss, wasn't hers at all. Jenny felt like the world had stopped. She stood there, the sounds of the party fading into a distant blur. Her heart shattered into a million pieces, each one more painful than the last. Her legs felt weak, but she couldn't move. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Was this some kind of mistake? A misunderstanding? But it wasn't. It was real. It was happening right in front of her. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she couldn't bring herself to confront them. Instead, She turned and slipped out of the house, her vision blurred, her chest tight with the weight of betrayal. The walk home was a blur. Every step felt heavy, like she was sinking further into the ground. Her thoughts raced, looping back to the image of that kiss, over and over. How could Marcus do this to her? How could he kiss Lisa when everything between them had felt so real? Had she imagined it all? The shared looks, the lingering touches, the unspoken connection. Was it all in her head? The next day, Jenny knew she couldn't hide from the truth any longer. She had to know. She texted Marcus, asking him to meet her at their favorite spot, the park bench by the lake, where they had spent so many afternoons talking, laughing, just being together. It was their place, where everything always felt simple and easy. But today it felt different. Today, it was a place where everything would fall apart. When Marcus arrived, he looked uneasy. He sat down beside her, but there was an awkward distance between them. Jenny stared at the lake, her heart pounding, struggling to find the right words. Finally, she broke the silence. "Why did you kiss her, Marcus?" Marcus sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Jenny, I didn't mean for it to happen." Her voice trembled. "That was supposed to be our first kiss. You and me." "I know. I am sorry. I was confused, okay? I don't know what I thought." Jenny swallowed hard, trying to keep her composure. "You didn't know? I thought we were heading somewhere. I thought you felt the same way." Marcus looked away, guilt etched on his face. "I do care about you, Jenny. I do. But things with Lisa, it's complicated. I didn't know how to handle it." Jenny felt a fresh wave of pain at those words. Complicated? Nothing about how she felt had been complicated. She had been so sure, so certain. And now, it was all unraveling. "I thought we had something real," she whispered, tears threatening to spill. "I thought you felt it too. I messed up," Marcus admitted, his voice low. "I didn't mean to hurt you." Jenny stood, the weight of her heartbreak pressing down on her. "You didn't just mess up, Marcus. You broke us." Her voice was soft, but the words hit like a punch to the gut. Without waiting for a response, Jenny walked away, leaving him sitting there, alone on the bench they once shared. She didn't look back. The days that followed were a blur of pain and confusion. Jenny replayed everything in her mind: the kiss, the confrontation, the way Marcus had looked at her, full of guilt but empty of answers. She had trusted him, believed in something that never really existed. But slowly, she began to realize something. She had been waiting for Marcus to make the first move, to show her that he felt the same way. And all the while, she had been putting herself second, letting her worth depend on what he did or didn't do. That kiss, the one she had dreamed of for so long, had never really been hers to begin with. And maybe that was the real lesson. Jenny knew now that she deserved more than just promises that never materialized, more than waiting for someone else to decide what they wanted. She deserved someone who saw her, who chose her without hesitation. The first kiss that wasn't hers had hurt like nothing else. But it also set her free. Like, share and subscribe to Love, Lies, Secrets for more emotional, dramatic love stories that uncover the hidden truths behind relationships.